What's going on, everybody? My name's Tony, and I want to talk to you today about these dye sublimation can coolers, or koozies as they're also known. This is an item that I've been printing a lot of lately. In the past, I haven't really done too much of it, but people really seem to be buying these for different events, mostly birthdays in my case, but also some retirements, weddings, engagement parties. People like to give these out as party favors or keepsakes. The great thing about these is you could print photos on them, you could print text. They really hold the color nicely. You can print some nice vibrant designs with these, but they aren't always the easiest thing to print. So as I've been doing them, I've been really honing my technique and trying to perfect what I'm doing to avoid ghosting and things like that. So I just want to show you today how I print these and just the things that I do and what I look out for when I'm making them. My name's Tony, and I like to teach you about t-shirt design, dye sublimation, and making your own merch at home in general. So we'll just jump right into it. The things you're gonna need to do this are a blank, which these are neoprene sublimation can coolers. You're gonna need a dye sublimation printer with dye sublimation ink and dye sublimation paper. So I'm gonna skip the part where I show you how I print things because it's just an inkjet printer. We'll just jump right into the pressing of these. So the first thing that you need to know about these, and really anything that you're doing dye sublimation, is if there's any sort of lint on here, you're gonna end up with a blue speckled surface. So what you wanna do is just get a lint roller and roll that out. And then the second thing with these can coolers is they're gonna curl underneath the heat. We're gonna turn this pressure down to medium. And let me show you what's gonna happen when I press this. So what happens is this thing just sort of comes apart a little bit from itself and it just bends. So if I have my heat transfer on here, what'll usually happen is when this comes up and this bends, you can get some ghosting. So one thing that I tried to do is using some heat resistant tape, and it still moved when it curled. And then the other thing about that is sometimes on these edges, the tape would rip this a little bit, even if it's like the right kind of tape. So the solution that I came up with was using a spray adhesive. And with the spray adhesive, what I do is I take this print and I'm just gonna put it right down inside of this trash can. What I'm using is this Super 77 by 3M, and it's a pretty aggressive spray adhesive. They do make a low tack spray adhesive that you can get at your craft supply stores. But since this is aggressive, what I'm gonna do is just hold it back and give this a light misting. And that's gonna be enough just to get some of this on there. Then we'll go back to the heat press. All right, so back at my heat press, what I'm gonna do is just take my can coolers, line them up here, and try to get these as straight as possible. And hopefully centered. And realistically, I can press as many of these as will fit on my heat press. The other thing I need to do is put something down to protect this bottom platen here, because this ink will definitely transfer to that and end up on the next shirt that I make. So I'm just gonna get this Teflon sheet. And since I use that spray adhesive, these are on here really well. I'm just gonna put this down and give it a press at 385 degrees for 45 seconds. So this is the first side, and as you can see, this does have that curl to it. So what I'm gonna do is the same exact thing for the back side. There's only 10 of these in this order, so I'm gonna print this side all together, and then I'll print the other side. The other side has customer photos, so I'm not gonna share that one because I don't really feel comfortable sharing photos that aren't mine. But I will show you the second press without revealing the art, and then I'll show you what the final thing pretty much looks like. I just wanted to show you that I cut down my sublimation transfers, and 8 of them will fit comfortably on the 16 by 20 heat press. So I can just press all those at the same time. And 8 coolers in one go is going to save a whole lot of production time. Once you press the first side, you just repeat the process for the second side. Just flip it over. I have my spray adhesive on there, and we're going to press this for 45 seconds. Same thing. And we'll peel these, and you'll see that again, these have like a curl to them. I don't have any cans on hand, but I put this on a bottle, and you can see there's a little bit of a white seam here and at the bottom, but it's not a big deal. Nobody really complains about that at all. As you can see, the dye sublimation can coolers really weren't all that difficult to work with. The main problem for me was just the learning curve. I had some, and then I had to figure out why I was getting ghosting, how to deal with the curling of the material. And for me, the solution ended up being spray adhesive. So if you're gonna try these yourself, I definitely suggest getting some sort of a spray adhesive. I'm using that Super 77 spray adhesive, and I definitely wouldn't recommend using that. It's not the easiest thing to work with. The adhesive's very aggressive. So use something low tack, something preferably that's made with crafting in mind. Your dye sublimation supplier should have some sort of a low-tack spray adhesive that's meant for dye sublimation. I would definitely suggest using that. For the longest time, I really avoided some of these more low-cost items that weren't bringing in big profit on each piece because it seemed like a waste of time. But as I started doing more things for groups and parties and events, the more I realized that those little bits add up really fast. The cost to print these can coolers is pretty low. The blanks cost $1, and then the supplies to print them, the paper and the ink, are less than a dime per piece. And I'm charging $5.50 for these right now. And on average, I'm getting at least 20 orders per order. Even factoring in things like electricity and the time of your production, you're still making a really good amount off of those orders. And as people order more and more, then you can give them different discounts and stuff like that to encourage even bigger orders. Sometimes people just want these for a small party of 10 people. Sometimes they're doing it for a big corporate event and they need 100 of them. And with the ability to print multiple items at once in your heat press, it really cuts down on production time. And that's just more money that you could be making by saving time on those. I know a lot of us start out in this business with t-shirts, and we think we want to press t-shirts, and that's great. I make plenty of t-shirts, but there's a lot of other things that you could be selling to make money along with your t-shirts. Over the last few years, I've really learned the value of designing things, whether it is t-shirts or something like this, or hats that I can sell to groups of people all at once, whether it's for a party or senior night or just for gifts for kids who are graduating or whatever it is. If you can sell things to people in groups and get them to buy multiple items, then you're going to be better off than trying to just sell one thing at a time to a bunch of different people. Like I said, even these low-cost items, that money adds up really fast. So that's it for this one. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.